Guys, I thought I'd show you where we stayed last night. I think most of you know me. This is not the way I like to camp, but this was kind of cool. It's a humongous, I mean huge, right outside of Bakersfield, California, RV park. But it's in a orange orchard. And I think the name of it's Orange Grove RV Park. And it's huge. Let's see, there's a railroad, as you can hear the train not too far. It's right on the highway and right next to a busy road. So, but it was getting late and we just pulled in. We left, where'd we go yesterday? Good grief. Yosemite. We left the Yosemite area and yesterday morning, and it was there was quite a bit of snow. I recorded some videos of us leaving in the road, and I pulled the old, as blind views would call it, senior citizen trick. I forgot to hit the record button. So anyway, I might have some little clips, I'll add that. We are so ready to get out of the cold. That storm hit. We didn't get snow, but it was down in the, I think, teens. Everything was froze up. And so we're ready to go to the desert. I think we're going to Lake Havasu City. The intent was to show you how packed the RVs are in here. The only good thing is we got right on the edge. So we're not packed in the middle of the crowd. But this RV park just goes on and on. And when we pulled in, we got the last sight. So I'll tell you, that's how crowded it is. Back behind over here in this little row of orange trees, there's some little hookups. We think it's overflow because late last night somebody pulled in. When we were up near Yosemite, we stayed in a campground again. Stayed for 3 days, mostly because of the holiday weekend, and everything was booked. So we kind of felt, quote unquote, stuck there, I guess, because we had gone ahead and paid for 3 nights because the crowds were so huge in that area. But anyway, talk to you later. Well, we're driving, of course I forgot the name of this highway, east out of Bakersfield, headed towards Lake Havasu City. And look how the landscape has changed again. Rolling hills, slow-moving trucks. I just can't get over. It wasn't but a few miles back. Oh, I see why we have slow-moving trucks. A few miles back, it was flat and lots of orchards and vineyards, and now here we are into the rolling hills, and there's cattle out there. We didn't realize there was so many cattle ranches. Holy cow, look over there. Sorry guys, I know I'm not the best photographer, but those that have been with me for a long time have learned how to bob their head and turn their head, look away, and whatever else. You guys can see this. This is just amazing. Look at those hills out there. Okay, now hang on. Don't get too dizzy. We're going to whip around. I'll try to go slow, but no sense ruining my style. There's too much glare from the sun, but it is just beautiful out here. The hills just get more and more beautiful. There's a tunnel up there. There's a semi. Let's see where that tunnel comes out. It's pretty cool. A lot of houses built up in those hills. I think this is Highway 58. I just looked it up so I could tell you guys where we were, and of course I forgot. I guess you're used to me forgetting it. Guys, we made it to into the desert. And we are on Highway 58, just north of Edwards Air Force Base. Look at all the Joshua trees out there. We're in this little, I'm going to make you dizzy, I'm going to whip around. We're in a little rest area, and it allows overnight parking, or 8-hour parking I'll call it. And my understanding is the rest areas in California all allow that, so a lot of people boondock in the rest areas. I had hoped to make it this far last night, but we were just so tired, or the old farmer was just ready to stop. So anyway, I was going to try to show you the desert like you haven't seen it before. There's so many weeds and stuff piled up here, but there are Joshua trees everywhere. I'm glad to be back in the desert. California is beautiful. One of these days I'm going to do a video and let you know my thoughts on California. I'm going to show you this. I've seen these in all the rest areas in California. Some of them are really big. This one's just a small, mounted to the side of a post. But I'm glad to see this. I'd like to see these everywhere. Cigarette butts, just, it's amazing. But let me show you what it says. That way I can go research that. But isn't that good? And did you know that cigarette butts don't decompose? They just lay there forever. And did I call this a little rest area? This thing's huge. And you know, California really does a really good job with their rest areas. They're very well kept. They're always clean. Very nice. This one's really cool too. Guys, today is still Tuesday, February 20th. It's, I'm going to say, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. After we left Barone, what's the name of it, California, and visited the museums and had lunch and stuff, we took off, and I noticed the Pasgah Crater, the volcano, and I have been intrigued with all the black lava in places along here. So I noticed that others had camped up in here, so me too. Anyway, it's up there. I wanted to go up and camp right on it and then say, let her rip. But the road's pretty rough and the old farmer wanted to stop here. I'm happy. We found another little camp area, pull-off area that someone else had used. I have a feeling the wind's going to be bad in this video because I climbed up to the top here. And it's rather close to the highway, but you can't hear it. And because of the big rig, we didn't come in too far, but we're still at the base of the lava flow. So I'm happy, and we'll see how tonight goes. We're finally back to boondocking. Thank God. I prefer boondocking. I've told you that 100 times. I think we all know that walking on lava is a little more difficult than walking on, you know, other rocks and stuff, boulders, because the ones that look like they might be loose are not. And then all of a sudden you'll step on one that looks solid and it'll slip out from under you. So you just got to be careful. But I'm loving this sugar sand up here. Look how nice that sand is. I just still am just so intrigued with the landscape in California, how it changes within just a few miles. Oops, wind. But we're surrounded by these beautiful mountains again. And they change every time. The sun, so many times during the day. I'm anxious to see what they look like in the morning. beautiful up here. My understanding is there's another, what do you want to say, volcano or whatever, a few miles north of here. I'm not even going to try. I know it starts with an A and ends with an Y, but they say the lava tubes are much easier to get into and walk around in. I would be content just to look in a lava tube. I've never been in one. So much history and diversity, and wow. If anybody had ever told me that I would spend 6 to 8 weeks in the state of California, I would have laughed. And here I am, and enjoying every minute of it. All right, not the big crowds, not the big cities, but there is, it just, you've heard me say it so many times, and I'm sorry, but you're going to hear it more. This is absolutely stunning. Well, guys, today's Wednesday, the 21st of February, and we stayed here last night. I just loved it. I loved it. I didn't realize down there by the highway is also train tracks. I think the trains must run non-stop. I really only heard them one time in the night when they seemed a little bit louder, but most of the time I can't hear them. And then I wanted to get up this morning, was looking forward to the sun hitting the rocks, the mountains, to see what they look like. When I always get up really early, so it was still dark, and I looked at the weather, and it showed snow right over us. And all the way, even down south, and I guess even Southern California is supposed to get hard freezes. But, so it was, when I looked out, it was cloudy. It's still cloudy. I'm thinking it might be about 9 o'clock in the morning. But I will go ahead and pan around. This is where we drove in, this big open area. This is what I love about these boondocking spots. You just pull off and park and enjoy your time. But those mountains off to the west, they have a little bit of sun on them. Sun's starting to peek out. But my favorite was all this lava. If we were going to stay a couple more days, I'd have the old farmer unhook and we'd drive up to the lava tubes. But I think he's wanting to get moving, find warmer weather. I think the snow and the cold has just decided to follow us. Back home, I guess they're getting it. Bitter cold, but no real moisture to speak of. Just typical Southwest Kansas. Very cold and very windy. I'm going to upload our travel videos here. We did stop yesterday, and I've got a video for that as well.